On this week's episode of Conestoga Connected, Riley Sauvé and the team at Fraidy Cat Frights put her ultimate fear to the test. But does she go through with it?
When people come in to get tattoos for the first time, they're generally pretty nervous about it.
James Chapesky takes on the task of learning to dance in live camera action. But is he successful? Nicole Beer of Rescue Tales gets to visit some highly intelligent floppy-eared fur friends. Any guesses who they might be? To find out all that and more, stay tuned to this week's episode of Conestoga Connected.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Conestoga Connected. I'm Shanice Miller. Today we have an absolutely action-packed episode for you. No, seriously, our host took part in so many activities around the region this week, and we can't wait to dive right in. Ryan, why don't you get us started?
Sure thing. Thanks, Shanice. Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Giesbrecht. We are starting today off with a pretty exciting venture from the team at Fraidy Cat Frights. On this episode, Riley Sauvé takes a stab at getting a tattoo for the first time. Does she cry from pain, or is she able to conquer her fears? Let's find out.
I have been afraid of needles for about as long as I can remember. When I was in middle school and high school and we had to get mandatory vaccinations, I would always need a friend to be by my side to comfort me as I got my vaccination, as I was far too afraid of needles to do it alone. But today, I'm gonna face my fear at Castaway Tattoos by getting a tattoo for the first time.
Hey, my name's Chris Martin. I'm a tattoo apprentice at Castaway Tattoo in the friendly city of Woodstock, Ontario. So, Castaway Tattoo was started on Valentine's Day in 2015 by the owner here, Scott McCracken, and just wanted to start a nice, solid tattoo shop in town here. Non-discriminatory, friendly, custom tattoo shop. Yeah, when people come in to get tattoos for the first time, they're generally pretty nervous about it. You know, pain's a thing, it's uncomfortable, and nobody really wants to be in pain for a long time.
But that fear response is your body's reaction to something that feels unsafe for one reason or another.
Yeah, I am very excited, but I am also, again, very nervous.
But, you know, it seems to subside after they've got, like, the first little line pulled, and they realize it's not as bad as you think. You
Okay.
good to go?
Yes, I'm good to go. Okay.
That's it.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
See?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like the back of your thigh and stuff like that.
Ooh.
Like
Oh, I so wish I brought a stuffed animal to hold as a friend. Okay.
One pedal done.
Oh my god, really?
Almost.
Oh my god.
Playing mind games with you now.
Trying to mess with me. I think as long as I don't, like, look at it, I'll be fine.
So step 2 can really be breathing through the fear. And I know, everyone says just breathe.
Okay. Everything's okay.
Just remember to breathe.
But really check in with how you're breathing. So fear gives you this physical reaction.
Oh, it's starting to hurt a little bit.
And if we can do something that is in opposition to that, then we're going to neutralize that response a bit.
Well, Riley, I think we conquered our fear of needles today.
I think we did too.
Good job.
Yay! Well, I did it. I faced my fear, and I got a beautiful piece of artwork immortalized onto my body. This has been Fraidy Cat Frights, proving to everyone that there is nothing to be afraid of.
Yikes, that looked like it hurt. But congratulations to Riley for facing her fear and getting a permanent reminder of the sacrifices we make in the name of great television. Maybe something sweet will make her feel better. Let's see where Liam Gaughan and the Pretty Sweet crew are headed this week.
I'm here in the Galt area of Cambridge checking out Albert's Donuts. Let's take a look.
This charming little bakery had a great looking building but an even better assortment of donuts. Let's see how and why they got this business started.
It tastes good, but it's not what we really wanted. We really wanted something with this product in a place and selling in a place. The freshness and quality. That's what we're missing lately in the market.
After moving to Cambridge from New York, Albert noticed there weren't any bakeries making donuts traditionally, so he decided to open up Albert's Donuts and do everything from scratch.
Goes into the proofer, so it pops up. It's on the screen there, it cools down.
Making delicious treats like this does mean you've got some funky sleeping hours though.
I'd say I usually start these fills at like 4 a.m. and then like by 5, 6, I'm done.
After looking at all these delicious donuts, I had to see what the people love most.
Highest selling donuts, we're very famous for the apple fritters because we actually use apples. We peel them every day and we're adding to the dough with cinnamon. That's mostly popular by the customer.
With the work that goes into Albert's Donuts, what does the variety at the counter look like?
Every day we produce around 33 to 35 kinds of the donuts. That's whatever you dream about it, you have a wish to have it, we might have it. Now, once a month we're doing some changing, 1, 2 kinds, and depends from the season too, like Halloween coming, we're gonna do some Halloween decorations, when it's Mom's Day, we do some Mom's Donuts. It's for the occasion, yeah. Christmas, we do Christmassy donuts, stuff like that.
Watching the donuts being cream-filled and topped with their handmade icing really made them look even more delicious.
This has been Albert's Donut Shop. I'm Liam Gahn, and this has been Pretty Sweet.
I had to stop by on my way here. Now let's see what Nicole Beer and the Rescue Tales crew got up to when they visited the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada. Who wants to bet they saw some donkeys? Let's check it out.
Hello and welcome to the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada, where we're going to learn about these amazing creatures and hopefully make some fluffy friends.
The Donkey Sanctuary of Canada has 2 parts to its mission. The first is rescue and rehabilitation. The second is education. So education for the general public, let's get to know donkeys and love them. And the second is for the industry, the equine industry in particular. Basically letting them know that donkeys are not just horses with long ears. They do have very different needs than horses.
It started in 1992 with Sandra Patey and her husband David, when they purchased over 100 acres in the south of Guelph. They weren't really sure what they were going to do with the property, but while they were waiting and trying to figure it out, they let their neighbors graze their sheep on the property. Unfortunately, what happened is a dog got out at one of the sheep and killed it. Sandra, being an animal lover, was devastated.
So she looked into it and found that donkeys could make good guard animals. She later found out that this is a myth, which is too bad. But what happened is it started the Donkey Sanctuary of Canada. So she started fostering a few donkeys, and she slowly became known as the Donkey Lady.
Employee Kayla Johnson explains how the donkeys are housed at the animal sanctuary.
So the Donkey Sanctuary houses most of their animals in our donkey house. Our donkey house is consistent of our geldings paddock, our jennies paddock, which is what we call female donkeys, and our miniatures paddock. So basically the way that we divide them is based on their needs of care. Most of the boys like to play a little bit more rough than the girls do, so they'll have their own space to do that. Girls, they're a little bit, calmer spirited, and so they're in one group. And then our miniatures, because of their dietary needs, being so sensitive on the amount of grass and food that they can get, they're in their own paddock. Petunia is one of the mules we have on the sanctuary. A mule is a hybrid between a donkey and a horse. Because mules are so intelligent, they can be very difficult to work with because they're not easily bullied into doing one thing or the other. They really need people to take patience and time to understand them and work with them.
Wow, that was awesome. I'm so glad we were welcomed here, and donkeys are such beautiful creatures. See you next time on another episode of Rescue Tales.
From donuts to donkeys to dancing, of all the people that need dance lessons, I'm definitely at the top of the list. James Chapesky from Live Camera Action was on the scene with Fuse Arts Learn to Dance Night to teach us some moves. He swings, he sambas, and he has a whole lot of fun doing so. Let's check it out.
Here I am at the Cambridge Center for the Arts, and tonight I'm going to be attending a Learn to Dance night presented by Fuse Art. Oh, I'm so excited. This is finally an opportunity for me to show off some of my amazing dance moves. Dun, 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 dun. Whew, let's do it. we met up with the dance instructor, Georgina, to ask what she loves most about dancing.
I love seeing the joy that people get from moving their body.
Imagine you were looking in a mirror, so you're both there going kind of backwards together, okay?
It helps me mentally and emotionally. Again, it's having an outlet to do something, to express your body. It's almost a form of meditation for me, and then I find the most rewarding part of that is being able to help other people experience that.
A little bit of Footloose and some old-fashioned jazz. We are dancing through the decades tonight. The Learn to Dance Night was presented by Fuse Arts, an inter-arts collective who at one time put on participatory opera shows.
We've really enjoyed what we've built so far, and already the volunteerism has increased tenfold, so we're grateful. Yeah. Fuse is an inner arts organization dedicated to being accessible and really integrating with the communities that it exists in. So what that means basically is that anyone and everyone can come out, be a part of something different, and experience something that they may not have really had experience in before.
Whew! Well, I just finished up the Learn to Dance night, and all I can say is that I am exhausted. But hey, I had a lot of fun and learned so many new amazing dance skills. So now I am a professional dancer. So thank you so much for coming to watch live camera action, and have a great rest of your day.
This week on Bottom of the Bag, a clueless detective shows up to a very important crime scene and completely blunders his job. Or does he? The answers can only be found at the bottom of the bag.
A case only I can solve? I'm on my way.
Captain?
Detective.
So any leads on the murder?
Murder? What murder?
Isn't it obvious?
What?
This was a crime of passion. The person was obviously murdered by someone who didn't want them to just die. They wanted to cause him pain. This was personal. Look there. Based on that blood on the curb there must have been a struggle. And I know what you're gonna say, Captain. Oh, we need to test the blood to see who the killer is. Well, no worries, because I already have that figured out. See, Captain, the killer is someone the victim trusted, as there was no signs of forced entry.
Forced entry? We're in a parking lot!
Now you're catching on. And I know what you're trying to say. Hurry up and tell me who did it. So I will. It was his sister.
He doesn't even have a sister.
Okay then, dude, it was his brother. It was his brother.
He's an only child.
Okay, well, it was his wife. She walked in on him. He was having an affair. Okay, that's what happened.
In a parking lot?
Yeah?
She's been dead for like 10 years now.
She faked her death so she could kill her husband.
Would you just stop it? Stop! Listen, none of those people killed the victim.
How do you know?
He's not even dead.
Why was he just laying there not saying anything?
I was playing Candy Crush.
Who the f still plays Candy Crush?
Apparently Governor Maxon does. got a call from the hotel that Mr. Maxon tripped over his own foot and fell, throwing his fries everywhere, hence the blood on the curb.
So why call me in at all?
Well, the governor is a very important man, and I want my top detective on the case.
Ow.
Oh no, it's my wife. She must have faked her own death in order to kill me because she found out I was having an affair.
I f***ing knew it!
That's all for this half of the show, but don't worry, there's plenty more action to come in the second half. I'm Ryan Giesbrecht.
And I'm Shanice Miller. Stay tuned for much more as I pass the baton over to Jay Vanderhayden and John Grande.
Wait, don't leave yet. Still to come on Conestoga Connected. Sam McInerney heads back to Hamilton to check out one of the most important warplanes.
The Lancaster is an iconic aircraft.
The Adventure Quencher team try their hand at bowling, but will Utku Turan prove to be the Kingpin King? Learn to LARP from a distance on Combat Corner.
You also have more power.
But you gotta stick around to the second half of Conestoga Connected.
Wow, what dedication from Riley. And those were some pretty sweet dance moves, James. I'm a bit of a dancer myself. Welcome to the second half of Conestoga Connected. I'm John Grande, and with me as always is my co-host, Jay Vanderhayden.
Thanks, John. Keep working on that waltz. Hey, do you ever wish you could reach an extra 5 feet in front of you? Well, you may not be able to grab the remote without getting up, but you'll definitely be able to take down some foes. This time on Combat Corner, I got to hear about the longest weapons available. Amped Guard is filled with all sorts of amazing creatives. There are opportunities for contests and accolades, depending on your interests. Now, a lot of people's interests happen to be poking other people with big sticks. So, today, we're talking polearms.
I love the community the most. I love singing with people. Mystery beer. It's a sport, so it's a lot of throwing the same thing over and over again, which is practicing and gaining muscle memory. So it's kind of like you would in a game of soccer or something like that. Do the same thing multiple times to get good at it.
Polearms are great because you get additional reach over your opponents, and because you're wielding it in two hands, you also have more power. When holding a polearm, you should have one hand at the bottom near the pommel and one hand closer to the top, so you have the most control over the weapon. You want to be in athletic position with your knees bent and your front foot facing your opponent. To throw a hit with a polearm, you want to use your back hand to cause swivel and generate force, lead with your hips, and follow through with your front hand in order to deliver a blow. If you want to fight a polearm, you have to close the distance. So you have to rush the pole. It's scary, but also the only way to kill them. Polearms are awesome right up until the point someone runs directly into you.
I like using a polearm because I can hit people from a long way away. This one is not that long, but it still gives me a good extra 5 feet of reach on a normal short sword. Basic anatomy of a polearm, like a short sword, you have a core. This one is made of bamboo. Over top of the core, if they're bamboo, there's usually some sort of strapping tape or something else to add strength. Then, like a short sword, at least 1 inch of padding over all striking surfaces. Unlike a short sword, we often have courtesy padding, which is 1/2 inch over non-striking surfaces that could reasonably come in contact with the player. And then, again, like a short sword, some sort of cloth cover.
Well, I certainly hope that didn't take too long. If you want to try one of the longest weapons available, check out your local Amped Guard park. Dead.
The studio insurance wouldn't cover me wielding a polearm, but they did give me this. On this week's episode of Signature Move, Will Fleming attempts to learn a special throw in a sport so crazy, so insane, they had to put ultimate in its name.
Welcome to Waterloo Park. I am sick and tired of these washed-up competitors. I'm ready to throw the hammer down and solidify myself as the ultimate athlete. You see, that was actually a hint to the signature move. I'll be learning the hammer throw in ultimate frisbee, high level humor and high level competition. Let's see how I do. So what got you into ultimate frisbee?
I started sports pretty late when I was younger, and it just seemed like more accessible a sport than most. Like I started in grade 8 and ended up making it to nationals within 3 years of me starting playing the sport.
So we got a high level talent, so you'll be able to teach me the throw pretty easily today.
I'll give it my best. I think you got a fighting chance.
So what makes the hammer throw so difficult?
It's more advanced, but generally, and if you're zoning in ultimate, so it's not.
Zone. Yep. Zone. Yeah. Zone. Yeah. Zoning in ultimate.
You'll have 3 or 4 big guys wrapped around you, and it's just to get up and over the wall, basically.
I remember one time I just started cutting right to a corner, and Leaf placed it perfectly right in the corner, perfect hammer toss, and yeah, he's pretty good at those.
I find that hard to believe. I think I'll next time someone asks you that question, you'll think, I remember the time that Will threw to me and it was crazy. Is it good for distance or more accuracy?
Distance if you're trying to show off. We'll see if we can get you there by the end of the day, but yeah, no, mostly just to get it up and over if you're in a tough spot. It's unique, it's versatile, and it sure looks good.
As long as it makes me look good, I'm fine with it.
Done and done, let's go.
A trophy is out of our budget, so I think we'll have more of a bragging type victory. I'm thinking that you and I will throw to Luke as he runs a route, and we'll see who has a more accurate throw. All right, well, let's see.
Okay. Yeah, Jamie, step back, bro.
I'll give it a shot. Hut, hike. Oh! I guess it'll be more the first one who gets it then. Attempt number 2. Kinda. He moved back. I have a bad feeling. I think this is gonna be the one. Oh, that was. I have to get this. This is the tie. I got this. Okay, hike. Oh no! No! Let's go. Cut the cameras.
We're done.
Dang it. I was really confident that I would win. I thought my raw talent would pull through. I'd like to thank my guests for coming out. They were great teachers. I'm gonna go run a bath and cry myself to sleep. It's gonna take me a while to get over my performance in this.
I can tell Will was heartbroken about that loss. Rightfully so. You're such a good sport, Will. And speaking of sports, the Sports Rehashed crew heads down to Return of the Dragon in Kitchener to learn some great techniques to nail the perfect punch.
Today we are here at Return of the Dragon, a kickboxing gym in Kitchener. Today we're going to be learning about one of the most crucial punches in kickboxing, which is the cross. Now, of course, I obviously can't teach you it. I certainly don't know how to. But luckily for us, I brought 2 people who surely can show us. This is Tanaka Magama. He is a kickboxer with 13 years of experience and a competitive record of 3-1. Today, Tanaka and his coach Zach will show us the fundamentals of throwing the proper cross. What exactly is a cross?
A cross is the second punch that you're taught. The first punch in a number system is usually your jab, and then right after your jab is your cross, and that's either your right hand or your left hand, depending on if you're right hand dominant or left hand dominant. That's your power hand.
From the body, which part of the body should you rotate to get the most power out of a cross?
Good question. So the punch starts directly from the ground. My back foot is planted, I'm just on the ball of my foot. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate this foot. It's like I'm squishing a bug or I'm, stomping something out. At that point, it'll engage my hip. As my hip turns, my hand will release from my face and come straight out from the target, bang, and then straight back to the target.
From Tanaka's and Zach's explanation, the proper cross is thrown using your whole body to generate the most power. Starting from his feet, Tanaka pivots his back, right foot, and twists his hips towards his opponent, shifting his weight into his right hand. Once again, proper technique is created using kinetic energy. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank Zach and Tanaka for being such great guests, showing us what a cross is, and helping us know when and where to use it. So, I'm Luke Reinhardt. This is Sports Rehashed. Thank you for watching.
Quite a hard-hitting segment. Brace yourself for this next one. Fasten your seatbelts, make sure your tray tables are in upright positions, and note your emergency exits on either side. The History Heroes crew is taking us for a flight over to Hamilton, Ontario, to explore one of the most famous warplanes from World War II.
Here at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum in Hamilton, Ontario, is a hangar full of very interesting airplanes. Today, we're going to explore the Avro Lancaster bomber, one of the biggest bombers from World War II, and talk about what makes it a history hero. The Avro Lancaster bombers were one of the best Allied bombers during World War II, but actually came from a previous failure of Avro. The Manchester bomber was unsuccessful and unreliable. They swapped out the twin Vulture engines for quad Merlin engines, and thus the Lancaster was born.
The Lancaster is an iconic aircraft. 7,377 were built. Canada was the only country outside the UK to build Lancasters.
Some of which were made right here in Malton, Ontario at Victory Aircraft.
In 1942, it was the largest airplane that had been built in Canada. And Victory Aircraft, the site of Pearson Airport today, employed 10,000 young Canadians who built these airplanes.
Here is the Lancaster's bomb bay, capable of holding up to 22,000-pound bombs known as Grand Slam bombs, where they would be loaded in and dropped out of right here.
It was the biggest airplane flown by Bomber Command at nighttime, and it actually carried the fight to the Third Reich.
One of the more famous operations the Lancasters partook in was the Dam Busters raid. The goal was to destroy German dams. The problem was, the Germans had put up anti-torpedo nets in front of the dams to prevent the dams from being destroyed by simple torpedoes. And so this is what they came up with, the skipping bomb. The bombs will be attached at the sides right here and dropped at a very low altitude with a backspin, in hopes that they would skip over the anti-torpedo nets, land in front of the dams, and explode.
The other thing that impresses me about this airplane is the Merlin engine, 1,640 horsepower per engine. So the first time when you're flying this airplane and you put the power up on those 4 Merlins and they come to life, the sound just overwhelms you. You've never heard anything like it.
To make sure I was paying attention, John Grande can ask me some questions, and I encourage you guys to play along as well.
What is the plane's wingspan?
102 feet long.
How many crew members does it hold?
For a total of 7 people.
When was the first one flown?
In January of 1941. You can visit the bomber for yourself at the Canadian Heritage Warplane Museum in Hamilton, and if you're lucky enough, get to see it fly overhead. My name is Sam, and if you learned something new today, my job here is done.
I can't imagine flying one of those. I mean, I still get nervous just getting onto a passenger plane. But now, let's travel over to Victoria Bowling Lanes with Utku Turan on this episode of Adventure Quencher.
Hi, my name is Utku Turan, and today me and Adventure Quencher team are rolling into the Victoria Bowling Lanes Club to do a classic bowling. I was gonna make a bowling pan, but I thought I would spare you all.
Victoria Bowling Lanes was opened in 1958 in Kitchener, Ontario. It was one of the first bowling clubs opened in Kitchener and one of the few 5-pin bowling clubs still in Kitchener. Mitch is one of the current owners of the club. Let's hear why he thinks bowling is so popular.
Both the accessibility and the challenge. Literally anybody can bowl, whether you're 3 or 93. Any ability level, any physical ability level. But as you get up there, the challenge of anybody being able to compete on any given day. So there's whether you're just a public bowler looking to come in and have a good time, or whether you want to take it more seriously at like a national level, there's something available for everybody.
The pandemic affected the bowling club and its players heavily, many of them losing motivation for the games entirely.
So overall, what I've noticed for myself is that COVID-19 has just made it less motivated for me to come out. Because there's been a lack of people showing up because of COVID-19, it's just not what it was before, where you'd have those crowds where you'd want to come out and show that competitive side of the 5-pin game.
But with new guidelines and safety measures being followed, bowling is able to start again, so can their league.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of leagues that have started back up since COVID's been open. So I play the Monday Night Pro League. I know there's some leagues on Wednesdays and Thursdays as well. In terms of bigger events, there's a national event coming up in December, which is called the National Open. Teams from all around Ontario, all around Canada even show up. And then there's representatives from each province that go and compete to see who's best nationally.
Now enough talking, let's start bowling. Beginner's luck hits me hard. As I get lots of spares to start off, Artie and I both take on his girlfriend. Emily on separate lanes, and although she beats Artie, I stand as the victor of the bowling adventure.
What a workout. My thirst for adventure may be satisfied, but my thirst for water certainly isn't. Come down to Victory Bowling Lanes Club to bowl the night away with some loved ones. Now I'm gonna get some water.
We've experienced some sky highs, long battles, and exciting activities. But that's all the time we have for today. I'm Jay Vanderhayden.
And I'm John Grande. Hopefully you enjoyed the show and possibly even learned a thing or two. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Conestoga Connected.